What's up, guys? Jeremy Clark here, coming to you from the Premium FTS trading Discord. I'm just taking a look at NinjaTrader 8, Jigsaw trading DOM, and over here we've got the tick chart, or the basically this is the Dow, how it's ticking up and ticking down. We've got the NASDAQ. See, the NASDAQ is very bearish at the moment, as is the S&P. So Dow, NASDAQ, S&P. And price has been messing around with this range for quite some time here. Tempted to the horizontal range to there. Does seem to be expected. We've got some respect at the center line, which is like around 67.54.5, which is a very recent bounce level. So is this a false breakout? Is this going to come back in? If it does, it's already tested the midline, so this would probably be a full reverse. Nice to see. But that being said, did kind of hit the bottom, and price has been trying to move higher. So the longer that this goes horizontal and the longer it holds above 67.55, the more likely price is going first. So watching that line right there. See, we're below 67.6650, which was the pre-market low. Common level. Based on yesterday, there was this horizontal range up here that price came back into. Bottom here, almost got it there, broke through, tested the bottom there, back tested it. Then we got this really intense range, and I was tempted to play this. This was about looking at 69 to 63, so this is a 6-point horizontal range. Generally, I like it to be at least 8 to 10 points. Give me a little wiggle room to get in and out. This is a little tight to play, so I just marked where the high and the low was interacting. Several times it interacted with the midline here. False breakout, came to the midline, came to the bottom, back tested it, and we got this good dump. And this is where I got short. I shorted down to about 67.51, and I think that was about as far down as I was comfortable taking it. You can see it did come back up to back test that level again and failed again. Now it's just been in this horizontal range, trying to figure out, gonna have enough strength to move higher. I kind of feel like it is. I mean, it's getting bought up. So if 67.59 holds, then yeah, we'll see what happens. This is a 2000 tick chart, NinjaTrader 8. VWAP, the green line is the yesterday's PDL. The volume profile is very strong at 67.90. So that was the level that I was looking for it to lose for some possible downside, and it lost it. I wouldn't say with a vengeance. There were a couple good clean moves, but overall the price action today was really choppy. I'm glad I'm not in the market right now. I'm just watching this. Played the first hour, and I'm good with that. PH was 67.98, and I'm curious if price is going to claim this range, because if it does, then strong likelihood we go back up to 7.9. Over here you can see the volume point of control for the session has moved down to 67.61. look at what. That was a previous zone of interest. There was a FVG that may have inversed right there, and then failed, and then inversed again and failed. So that in and of itself was kind of bearish. Again, we're testing that line 67.58. So if we can drop here, I would say 67.54 at the midline. Good target. $7.54. You can see there's liquidity at 67.55. Magnet, little bait on the hook. You'll notice there was a big buyer's absorption right there. We know there was buyers there previously, which if you're selling, you want a big stack of buyers buy it from you once you get to your target. Not saying that's what it's gonna do, but that's kind of what it's looking like. Moving back to the tick chart, or the tick here. Dow's at -8 and it just ticked higher. Nasdaq is -417. Yeah, so this is all pretty bearish. Dow's ticking down. Attempting to run a sim trade here. It's for kicks. I'm gonna do that. Let me bouncer locked out. So this will be in sim. Kind of like how it's holding right here. We could pop back up to 760. Liquidity there. Notice it's heavier to the downside on the bid, lighter to the upside. Over here, the levels of depth are currently getting more sellers. I want to see this turn blue up top, like that, and then I want to see these turn red. I think this one is on the bottom one is a 30-second showing the time in sales, how many lots have hit, and then up here this one I think is 180 seconds at the 3-minute, and I kind of go off of this. So for downside, I would want to see red here, blue here, kind of like what we're getting right now. That looks good for
order submitted.
Throw on a trade here, and target is going to be
order submitted.
Ooh, that's loud, huh? Sorry about that. Entity. Drop that down. So I want to see on the quotes delta, what's actually just the quotes. I want to see the quotes heavier on the bid side. Pulling. And trying to bounce. So this could, easily go back and the high there, but okay, that's looking good for just some downside. You want to see sellers hitting the tape, and you want to see bidders getting bigger, at least one level below. Got a big absorption right there. Auction Vista. Yeah, we're getting some absorption at this level. And price is trying to push through. Let's see if it can. Yeah, it's pushing through. We've got pretty likely we'll hit 54.75. We just bounced off that absorption zone. So I want to see sellers coming in. The bidders one tick below, or the best bid, it should be bigger. Right now the best ask is We'll see if that flips. Normally I'd be watching the NASDAQ and Dow to see what they're doing. You can see the Dow's bounced a little there, so that's not particular bearish. Let's see if it flips. 4, 6. Out of sync. And we're just holding that. 67.56 is now the volume point in control. So that's going to be a mess. Yeah, we've got a big absorption that just happened at this level. So unless it can push through 67.55. Try it one more time. There's liquidity right here at 50. This is why I don't like trading the later hours. Moves are so slow and choppy. Still futzing about at this level. Looks like we're trying to push past it. Only need a few ticks.
Order canceled.
Filled. I forgot to see how many ticks that was. I think it was about 10. But yeah, that was a good trade. That came through on my. That was 125, so that was about 10 ticks. For a sim trade. The tape I have set here to show me block orders above 100. And I also watch, and it's also set to only show me lot orders above 50 and above. I do watch another tape that has all the orders, and that one I think I have set to show me block orders at 50. Whenever we have a horizontal range like this, like my favorite trade is to play the breakdown to the midline rather than trying to anticipate an entire traverse. It's really hard to know that's going to happen. And like you'll notice right here, if you were holding to the top line, it didn't even quite make it. Then it came back and tested the middle. So for me, the solid play would have been to play the bottom and get out, and then wait for this to fail again, and it failed right back to the middle. Wait for it to fail again, and failed almost to the middle. And because it's later in the session and it's a little choppy, I don't have a good sense of targets being hit. I'm not surprised that this didn't quite hit it. Oh, that's another reason I wanted to take profit a little bit above the midline. They're below, stay low. Quite a bit more volume up here at 67.90, which I would put probably pretty close to the range high, 87, 88. See what this little horizontal range gives us. That's a 92. Yeah, this one right here. 88. Not very clean. As you can see, we went from choppy downtrend to sideways chop. I love the chop. Why we call the podcast the Chop Zone. I always thought if you could get good at playing the range, hitting where price is going to go, then never mind if it's choppy or not, you should be able to get to some sort of target. Let's see, I'm just checking on the guys. Anyone else in here? No. All by myself today. We had a good group yesterday. Quite a few people joined in. We're just discussing antivirus software. You know, today I started trading Take Profit 75K eval account, and I'm trading a couple Apex accounts, and yeah, I was getting a little lag. It's the first time I've used NinjaTrader paired to like CQG and Rhythmic data. Yesterday I was getting a lot of lag. Today I was getting some lag. It seems to be better now since I turned off the antivirus software, and I noticed that mine will it loves to scan like right at the New York Open. I've tried changing the settings to force it to scan at different times, but it's still, you know, I like to turn my PC off at night. So every time I boot it up, the Malwarebytes likes to run a system-wide scan. I get a lot of lag, I noticed, between Jigsaw and NinjaTrader, and specifically Flowbots. Another interesting thing, so NinjaTrader prioritizes what data feed is based on which one you sign into first. So I have mine set it to sign into Rhythmic first, and then to the Trade of 8 CQG second, because yesterday it was the opposite, and CQG was running a little bit ahead of my Rhythmic trades in Flowbots. So Flowbots was actually entering the trade before Jigsaw did. So I'd have like an order sitting over here on Jigsaw, let's say to go short, for example. I'd have an order sitting
submitted
here, and price would get within 2 or 3 ticks, and the CQG data would, you know, in Flowbots would suddenly say, you know, that I was in a trade, and I'd start seeing P&L on that trade. Meanwhile, the other accounts that are, you know, Rhythmic based hadn't hit. So I did some tweaks in NinjaTrader, and I made sure to sign into Rhythmic first and then sign into CQG second, so I can use that more as a trailing account. And it seemed to work pretty good today. I did get desynced on one trade. I think what happened was I tried to get into a trade.
Order canceled.
And price just whipped past me. And so I ended up live on a couple accounts and not on the Trade of 8 account. So that's something to watch out for when you're using Flowbots. Kind of need to get into position before price comes to that level. If you want to just like last second click into a trade, when you're using a trade copier, it can slow things down. So it might not fill, or it might not fill at the right level that you hit. That's just something to bear in mind. I'm gonna take a look at the settings. Actually, I don't want to. I'm going to take a look at the settings for the tape, because these two lighter blue, lighter red bars, power meters up here, are running off of the reconstructed tape, and a look at power meter. Okay, so the shorter term one would be the bottom one. Either slightly more buys happening on the 60-second tape, and the long-term hour meter, middle one, see there's not as many buyers coming in. In fact, the sellers are heavier on the 300-second. So what is 300 seconds? That's a 5-minute. Your 5-minute tape, your 1-minute tape, showing you the aggressiveness of the short term, and I would say more medium term buyers and sellers. There's another power meter you can add in here, and I think this one is just like all the trades that are happening or that have happened. I don't find it that useful. You notice it's kind of showing bearish, but we're in a upturn. So I keep that one kind of turned off. I don't really care how many trades have happened. I've never found that useful. I tried it in Bookmap. I've tried it in Jigsaw. I just don't find it that useful. Like, it can affect my bias. And I start thinking, oh, we're bearish, but you know, meanwhile price is going up like it is now. So I stick to these power meters. And I have to resize these every time I sign in. Don't populate in the same area. So we're getting this nice break. The midline has held up. Tempted to run another sim trade, just for kicks. Some way I could turn down my audio. Yeah, if I turn my audio down, it turns everything down. So, not gonna do. As far as the highlighted offers, I have this set to, I think, 120. Usually I would set it to 100, but ever since September, getting bigger orders on the DOM. Not as big as they used to be, but slightly bigger. Yeah, so I have the ask set to 120, I have the bid set to 120. Anyone watching this video, if you have any questions about setting up Jigsaw, I'm not like an expert, but I can help you out with what I know so far. It's a deep program. I love it. It's my favorite execution software. Just the ability to click in and out of the price ladder to make trades has really changed my trading quite a bit. Used to sit there with an interface and type in numbers and try to get them typed in quick enough before price moved past you, and with this you can throw an order in.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
And cancel it. So loving that. Big thanks to the Peter at Jigsaw and all of their the guys that help, the tech helpers. It's been really useful. Yeah, okay, well with that, I think I'm gonna stop there. I just wanted to run an audio test. Really, I think I'm getting better audio. It was pretty shabby yesterday, so switch some things up, and I think that it's running good. So with that, we will be back sometime this week during one of the trading sessions, and a lot of times we just discuss the market with our members. And you can find us on X at Premium FTS. That's the premium tier futures Discord. It's free. We trade every day at New York Open, and we're not selling any products or any educational materials. It's just more some friends who like to trade together and give each other, shout outs and call outs and suggestions, which you can ignore or use. Again, not selling anything, but we're always happy to have new people join us. So give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you on the next one.